Design thinking is a term that's been bouncing around the world of business development and product design for a while now. It was popularized in the 1980s and 90s when Stanford University started teaching a course called Design Thinking as a Method for Creative Action. And the world-renowned design agency IDEO started using it to help businesses find innovative ways to develop their business strategies. But design thinking isn't as well understood as it could be. In fact, some well-known designers think that design thinking is bullshit.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about design thinking today. I'm a designer. I'm a practicing, I would say, graphic designer. That's still the term that I would like to use to describe myself.
I'm Simon, and today on Blog Talk, I'm going to talk about what design thinking is, whether it's bullshit, and whether or not it could be used to help your organization. So it's possible that you may have heard the term design thinking in conversation and just taken it to be a turn of phrase rather than the cognitive, strategic and practical process that it apparently is. Thank you, Wikipedia. Indeed, there's a lot of confusion around it, and it has to be said that the words design and thinking don't sound like they should sit next to each other in a sentence. The clip I showed in the intro was Natasha Jen, a well-respected designer that works for Pentagram, an agency that pretty much every graphic design student in the world wants to work for. She's talking at the 99U conference and goes on to talk about how design thinking has kind of become a buzzword.
We have been living with this term, design thinking, in our everyday life for a while now, and it has become such a buzzword.
Which I actually agree with. She points out that if you Google the term and look at the image results, you're presented with a whole lot of hexagons.
If you Google design thinking and go to the image area, this is pretty much what you will see.
These hexagons outline the design thinking approach. She wonders why they have to be hexagons. This makes the audience laugh, and again I can see where she's coming from.
It's typically visualized and represented as 5 somehow hexagons. I don't know why hexagons.
This doesn't inspire confidence that design thinking is anything other than a slide from middle manager's annual strategy deck. Then, however, she goes on to say that one of her issues is that, particularly in the design community, there's been a complete lack of criticism about design thinking, and then goes on to talk about why. I won't spoil it for you, there's a link below if you're interested, but if you look at the talk and read the comments, it quickly becomes apparent that Natasha hasn't understood what design thinking is. She talks about design thinking from a designer's perspective, and I can relate to her in that respect. When I first started looking into design thinking as an approach, I kept thinking to myself, well, this is just obvious, when are we going to get to the groundbreaking stuff? It was all very similar to the UX design process or agile development methodologies that we've been using for years now. So is this design thinking's main problem? A lack of clear explanation as to what it is and how to do it? Well, there's a well-known saying that goes, a cognitive, strategic and practical process diagram is like a joke. If you need to explain it, it's not that good. Okay, I might have adapted that a little bit for the sake of this video, but the point stands. Design thinking is very easy to mistake for part of the design process within a product. But design thinking is not something that is only relevant to the visual design team within an organization. In fact, the design team are probably the team that will find it least groundbreaking, as they will likely be using the strategies that it promotes already. Things like user research, brainstorming, prototyping, testing and iterating are all things that UX design teams will be familiar with already. Design thinking actually promotes the use of these techniques, but as a wider scope within an organization or project. So what is design thinking? IBM sums it up well in a promotional video for their own spin on design thinking.
At its core, design thinking focuses on understanding people's needs and creatively discovering the best solution to meet those needs.
So if you're running a project that targets an end user that will be using your product or service, the first step is to focus on that user and really understand them and their needs. It means that the old product development style of upper management telling a lower level team that they need to sell service X to user Y would be switched around so that they would first analyse what user Y actually wants before they try to give it to them. Design thinking is aimed at the whole project team, the stakeholders, project management, design, development and test teams, and it uses their collective expertise to build services and products that are more likely to be a success from the start by identifying and then addressing the target user's specific needs. There isn't a strict set in stone way to execute a project using design thinking, or at least not one that would fit into this video, which is another thing that could factor into the confusion around design thinking. It's more of a mindset that a whole team or even a whole company would have to adopt and understand to effectively use. It's a mindset that encourages interaction between different teams, experimentation, creativity, and exploration. And it's for this reason that we've decided to put together a series of events that focus on design-led approaches to product development. These events will be free to attend or watch live, and they will also be posted on our YouTube channel and Facebook page, so subscribe if you want to see those when they're uploaded, or click on the link in the description if you're interested in attending or watching the live events. That's it for this video. Hopefully I'll see you at one of the events, and if you want to talk to us about anything you want, anything, feel free to get in touch. Our contact details are in the description. See you later.